Wellness Rhythm Show. Find your rhythm. Live your wellness.
Y'all, let me tell you, my neighbor Linda called me last month in tears. Not sad tears, confused tears. Her youngest had just left for college, and she said, "Emma, I've spent 20 years making sure everyone else moved. I have no idea what my body even needs anymore."
And that call, I suspect, is more common than most people admit. Right, here's what I've learned. The empty nest transition is one of the most significant and most overlooked identity shifts in adult life. And the research on how it affects physical well-being is genuinely striking.
So today we're digging into what actually happens to your body and your sense of self when the kids leave. And more importantly, what you do about it. This is not a sad episode, by the way. This is a reinvention episode.
With actual evidence behind it, let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Because I think a lot of people hear empty nest and picture someone sad in a quiet kitchen. But what's really happening physiologically during this transition?
Right, so there's a lot going on simultaneously. Many empty nesters are in their late 40s to mid-50s, which means hormonal shifts, changes in metabolism, and often the first real moment of stillness they've had in decades. The body notices all of that at once.
And stillness sounds lovely until it isn't.
Exactly. A 2021 review published in the journal Menopause found that women in the perimenopausal and menopausal window, which heavily overlaps with the empty nest phase, experience measurable declines in muscle mass, bone density, and cardiovascular efficiency if movement habits don't adapt.
So the timing is almost cruel, right? The structure that was keeping you moving, school runs, sports practice, packing lunches at 6 in the morning, just vanishes. And your biology is already asking for more support, not less.
Precisely. Dr. Stacey Sims, an exercise physiologist who's done significant research on women's physiology across life stages, makes this point compellingly. She argues that women over 40 need to train differently, not less. More resistance work, more intensity, not just long, slow cardio.
And I will be honest, that surprised me the first time I heard it. Because I think a lot of us default to, okay, I'll start walking, which is great, but maybe not the whole picture.
Walking is genuinely valuable. Let's not dismiss it. The British Journal of Sports Medicine published a meta-analysis showing even 30 minutes of brisk walking 5 days a week significantly reduces all-cause mortality risk. But Dr. Sims would say, add some load, add some challenge.
Here's the thing, though, and this is where I want to push back slightly. Because not everyone arriving at the empty nest has a history of structured exercise. Some of these folks are starting from absolute zero and leading with, "You need resistance training and high-intensity intervals," might just send them straight back to the couch.
That's a fair challenge, and I think the research actually supports your instinct here. There's a concept called the exercise identity, studied extensively by Dr. Navin Kaushal at Western University, and it suggests that how we think of ourselves in relation to movement matters enormously for long-term adherence.
So before you even pick a workout, you have to sort out who you think you are in relation to movement.
Exactly right. And the empty nest moment is actually a rare psychological opening for that kind of identity reconstruction. Behavioral scientists call it a fresh start effect. Dr. Heng-Chen Dai and colleagues at Wharton published foundational research on this, showing that life transitions create genuine windows of behavioral change.
Y'all, that is hopeful. That's not just feel-good talk. There's actual science saying this specific moment in your life is a legitimate opportunity to rewrite your relationship with your own body.
Which is not a small thing, and it's worth saying, this applies to men too. Empty nest fathers often experience a quieter version of this identity disruption. The role of active dad, coaching, playing, roughhousing, just ends, and many men don't have the emotional vocabulary to name what they're losing.
Or the social permission to talk about it. My brother-in-law literally said, "I just felt useless." He wasn't depressed. He was grieving a physical role he'd had for 15 years.
And that's where movement becomes more than fitness, it becomes identity scaffolding. Research from the American Psychological Association links regular physical activity in midlife to significantly lower rates of depression and anxiety. And the mechanism isn't just chemical. It's also about agency, feeling like you're doing something in and for your own life.
Okay, so let's get practical, because I know someone listening right now is thinking, all right, I believe you, but where do I even start?
Right, here's what I've learned works well. The research consistently supports starting with what Dr. Michelle Seeger at the University of Michigan calls joy-based motivation. Her work shows that people who exercise for pleasure and energy sustain it far longer than those who exercise primarily for weight loss or appearance.
So the question isn't, what burns the most calories. It's what actually makes me feel alive in my body.
Precisely. And this might be something completely new. Dance classes, paddleboarding, rock climbing, hiking clubs. The empty nest phase, logistically, often opens up time and discretionary income that simply didn't exist before.
And this is the moment where I want to ask our listeners, if you're finding this conversation useful, please hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps us reach more people who are navigating exactly these kinds of transitions. We'd really love to grow this community with you.
Seconded. Now, I do want to address the skeptics, because someone is absolutely thinking, this sounds nice, but I'm exhausted. I have aging parents to manage. I'm still working full time. The sandwich generation doesn't just stop being sandwiched because the kids leave.
Oh, that is such a real point. My friend Teresa, youngest, just left for university, and simultaneously, her mom was diagnosed with early-stage dementia. She said the empty nest felt more like a revolving door than a liberation.
And the research reflects that complexity. A 2019 study in the Journal of Family Issues found that empty nest parents, particularly women, frequently absorb the freed-up caregiving capacity directly into elder care. The net time gain is often smaller than expected.
So what do you say to Teresa, or anyone in that position?
I say, start smaller than you think you need to. There's strong evidence from the Mayo Clinic and others supporting what they call exercise snacking. Short bouts, even 10 minutes, of moderate movement distributed through the day accumulate genuine cardiovascular and metabolic benefit.
10 minutes, that's it, that's the bar. And you know what? I've had weeks where 10 minutes was genuinely all I had. And it did feel different from nothing.
Because it is different from nothing. Physiologically, meaningfully different.
Here's the thing though. I also think we need to talk about the identity piece one more time, because I don't want people to skip past it. A lot of folks in this phase have built their entire sense of purpose around their family's physical well-being. Their kids' nutrition, their kids' sleep schedules, their kids' sports commitments.
And then suddenly, no one is asking for any of that.
And you have to ask yourself, what does it mean to take care of a body that is purely your own? No audience, no one depending on the outcome, just you.
That's actually a profound question, and I think sitting with the discomfort of it is part of the process. Behavioral research on self-determination theory, developed by doctors Ryan and Dacey at the University of Rochester, suggests that movement feels most sustainable when it's internally motivated. And many people in midlife are encountering internal motivation for the first time in years.
Which is both terrifying and amazing.
Quite.
All right, y'all. If you take one thing from today, let it be this. The empty nest is not a loss of purpose. It is, physiologically and psychologically, one of the most scientifically supported windows for reinventing your relationship with movement. Start with what feels good, not what you think you should do, what actually makes you feel like yourself.
And if I may add a practical footnote, if you're in this phase, consider a single conversation with a certified exercise physiologist or a registered kinesiologist. Not a generic gym program, someone who understands midlife physiology specifically. The investment is worthwhile. The science says so.
I love that David's version of warmth is the science says so.
It's how I show I care.
And we genuinely do care about all of you navigating this. It is not a small thing. It is a big, brave, beautiful transition. And your body is absolutely ready for it if you meet it where it is.
Optimistically realistic as always. Thanks for being here, everyone.
This show is part of the VoxCrea.ai system. If you want a show like this for your organization without building it yourself,
go to voxcree.ai and request a sample episode.